All right, Jack writes in asking using a reverse mortgage to minimize taxes on Roth conversions. So let's hear him out here. Hey Josh, love the YouTube channel. I was intrigued with your videos regarding the use of reverse mortgage as a potential funding source for long-term care. It got my old mind thinking if you could apply the same concept to a Roth conversion. My scenario, I'm a certain age, got over $1 million in investments, mostly in traditional 403B accounts, and a paid-for home worth $270,000. I'm almost to a point where continuing to work impacts my ability to convert investments to a Roth because of the higher tax implications. What are your thoughts on taking out a reverse mortgage and living off the loan advances? Since the advances are not considered income, I could then pull the maximum out of my 403B in the lowest bracket to convert. I can then use the converted money to pay back the loan advances. It's interesting. I like everything about that except the last part where you use the converted money to pay back the loan advances. I was actually thinking about this, Jack, in the context of using the reverse mortgage in order to pull money out while you're waiting on Social Security to kick in. So if you think about it, now you got a 403B, so I assume you're in either a teacher or something like that. I'm going to assume you have Social Security. Where's my whiteboard here? And I'm going off the top of my head here, so bear with me. If you're thinking, Josh, that doesn't make sense. If you have comments, not just you, Jack, but anyone, let me know. But the way I envision it, say you had working for simplicity, you got $1 million in a 403B, and we're going to convert. I can't see if he's single or not. I'm going to say you're married. All right, so you're married. That gives you $24,000 of standard deductions. So let's just say you convert, and then you get to the next tax bracket before you're in the 22% tax bracket is $78,000. And let's just say you do $50,000 a year in Roth conversions. All right, $50,000 a year in Roth conversions. We minus $24,000 for standard deductions. That's $26,000. We're going to pay tax on. So if we did $50,000 a year, that would still only get about half of your IRA over, your 403B over. So let's do $100,000 a year. All right, so we're going to do $100,000 a year. We're going to do it for 10 years. $100,000. Oh yeah, this way. Oh yes. This is the way to do. $100,000 a year. We got $24,000 of standard deductions. That's going to make our taxable income $76,000. The first $19,000 is taxed at. Okay, so minus $19,000 is taxed at 10%, and the rest of that is going to be 76 minus 19,000. 76 minus 19, that's 57,000 at 12%. All right, so we're going to have taxes due times 0.12, 6840 plus 1,900. It's going to cost it. 1,900 plus 6840. It's going to cost us $8,700 in taxes to convert $100,000 over to your IRA, from your 403B to your Roth. You do that 10 years, and essentially that $1 million is all in Roth. All right. So now, does that make sense? Everybody with me so far? We got $1 million in a traditional IRA, in this case 403B, and every year we're converting 100,000, 100,000, 100,000, 100,000. And I'm not assuming any growth or anything. We're just saying at the end of the day, by year 10, there's nothing left in that 403B. All right, so now, again, we start at 60 years old. You got no other kind of income, so bear with me just a second. And I'm going to say you're probably making $60,000 a year of income, we'll just say. And we're just going to average that. We're going to say your AIME is $5,000 a month is your AIME. All right, so we're making $60,000 on average a year in income, which means $5,000 a month is our AIME, 926, and that's going to be, bear with me just a second, 4074 times 0.9 times 0.32. So to figure out our Social Security benefit, our PIA, we know that's 833, 4074 times 0.32 plus 1303 plus 833. So we know our PIA will be 2136 is our PIA. All right, so let me show you what I've done here. If we're making $60,000 a year, and we're going to say that is our annualized yearly indexed earnings, all right? That gives us a $5,000 a month average index monthly earnings, which is give us a 2136 PIA amount. 2136 is our primary insurance amount. And if you're 58 right now, we're just going to say you're 60. So 2019 minus 60. You're born in 1959. We're just going to say you're born in we're going to say you're 60, which means your full retirement age is at 67. I think I said 2136 is our PIA. So we're going to times 2136 by 1.24 because that's our delayed earnings credits. 2136 times 1.24 is going to be 2648 will be our Social Security with at 70. So at 70 years old, our Social Security will be 2648. Times that by 12, that's 31,783 is Social Security yearly. So 2648 at 70, 31,783 will be our Social Security at 70 years old. Sorry, this is gonna be freaking sweet. All right, so we'll check this out. Let's just say you're married. All right, your spouse will get half your PIA, so your spouse will get half that 2136. 2136 divided by 2, that's equals 1068 times 12. So your spouse will get another 12,816 plus 31783. 44,599 is your income. All right, so basically roughly a little bit less than $4,000 a month. All right, so we got $4,000 a month is our income. Now, it completely depends on how much you need. Check this out, though. All right, let's just say you're living off, I don't know, man. We're gonna say $3,500. We need $3,500 a month in income because your house was paid. All right, so we need $3,500 a month in income, which is times 12. Oops, that's $42,000 a year. All right, this is gonna be awesome. $42,000 a year. We're getting $45,000 from Social Security. It's $3,000. All right, so that's $3,000 surplus. All right, so that's $3,000 surplus, and now we're going to take $20,000 a year from our Roth. I'm just throwing that out there. Right? $20,000. Hell, we can do $2,000 a month. We'll take $24,000 a year from our Roth, and we're going to pay $27,000 back on the mortgage. $27,000 back a year on that mortgage. And if you do it in the front end, you'll pay less. So just say every year I could put $27,000 back against that mortgage. Now I don't know how much you need to live. I mean, without knowing the expenses, it's tough. But just hear me out for a second. So now we're saying $27,000 a year is going to go back. So essentially, we got $45,000 a year from Social Security. We got $24,000 from Roth. Oh, Jesus, freaking awesome. This is awesome. I love the tax code. Thank you, tax code. This is, oh man, $69,000 a year is our income. All right, that's going to be our income, $69,000 a year. How much of that is taxable? I can tell you it's going to be nothing. So let's just go into it. Why will that be nothing? All right, you ready? So we got $69,000 a year as our income. All right, so why is that nothing? Because what I say, $45,000 is from Social Security. So we take half our $45,000, which is what's that? 22.5. 45 divided by 2. Yep, 22.5. None of the Roth is subject to taxation. So 22.5 is our provisional income. Even if you're single, it doesn't matter. Married filing jointly, the first was it 32,000 to 44 is the first 32,000 is tax free. 32,000 tax free. So here we got 22,500 is our provisional income, of which the first 32,000 is tax free. So the 100% of your Social Security benefits tax free. 100% of that Roth is tax free for $60,900 a year in income, of which $27,000 is going back into your pay down your reverse mortgage. It's no taxes at all for the rest of your life, the rest of your spouse's life, nothing. So you paid, I think we said you paid about $8,500 a year in taxes over those 10 years. So you paid $85,000 total taxes because you paid $8,500 a year in taxes in order to convert to Roth IRA. $1 million. You paid $85,000 to convert $1 million never to pay tax again. And then you can take the leftover, whatever you need to do to get that reverse mortgage paid down. Like, again, I don't know. I'm just saying, say you borrowed, I don't know, $3,000 a year. I'm not $3,000 a year, $30,000 a year off your reverse mortgage. It's $30,000, $2,500 a month. Look, I have no clue, but just say you borrow $30,000 a year, and you did that for 10 years. You borrow $300,000 total. All right, so we're going to say it's at 5.5%. So we're going to say, come year 10, you borrow about $30,000 a year is your payment, right? Zero present value. 5.5% is your interest. 10 years, yeah, there you go. So in 10 years, you have $386,000. You have to pay back $386,000. Let's say you're paying $10,000 a year. So that will be now our present value. We want zero future value. We're paying $27,000 a year as our payment. And we're getting 5.5 interest. It'll take 11 years to pay that off. All right. So what's happening is if we took $2,500 a month, which is $30,000 a year from a reverse mortgage. And look, I have no clue. I have no idea if that's doable. I just don't know. But let's just assume it is. And we did that at 10 years. We borrow $300,000 from the reverse mortgage. All right, that $300,000 is growing at a 5.5% clip. So in 10 years, you got $386,000 that you got to pay back that you owe on your home. All right, so that $386,000 is still paying. You're still growing at 5.5% is what is happening here. That $386,000 is still growing at a 5.5%. But we're amortizing that I guess we are, but we're paying $27,000 a year against that $386,000. So that $386,000 at 5.5%, when we're paying $27,000 a year, tax-free, we'll have that sucker paid off in 11 years. So essentially, now we're in year 81. I don't even know how much we got in our Roth at that point. We got a significant amount of money. Let's just say we had $1 million. We're taking out. We had $1 million present value. We're taking out $27,000 a year. We're getting 6% interest because it should be invested aggressively, and we have $1.49 million in a Roth in 11 years. So our house is completely paid off. We got $1.5 million in a tax-free Roth IRA. We're getting $45,000 a year in Social Security. Man. Now, a couple of things. Reverse mortgage, you can't do it until you're 62, so just keep that in mind. Unless you're married, if you are under 62 and your spouse says you can. As long as someone's above 62. I don't know if you'll be able to tap in $30,000 a year off a reverse mortgage if a house is only worth $300,000. In fact, I can almost assure you can't. So I don't know what your spending will be at that point. So it's not as quite as cut and dry as this, but man, it's still pretty doggone close. So you're 81 years old. You got a $1.5 million tax-free in a Roth IRA. Your house is completely paid for. On top of that, you got this line of credit that is also growing at 5.5% clip, because not only is the mortgage costing you 5.5% of the loan on the reverse mortgage, but every time you pay it down, that line of credit is also growing at that 5.5% clip too. Does that make sense? So in year 11, you have a line of credit of almost $400,000 that you can tap in tax-free too. The only thing I didn't say is that it does cost a reverse mortgage. It costs 2% of the entirety of your home value. So if your home value is $500,000, it's going to cost you $10,000 up front. That's a fact. Plus, try not to do the origination fee. It's going to be expensive on the front end, but you're going to pay $8,500 a year in taxes. Let's just say it costs you, $15,000 of expenses on the front end. So you're going to pay it's going to cost you $100,000. You got $15,000. To do the reverse mortgage. It's going to cost you $85,000 total in taxes over those 10 years time. So it's going to cost you $100,000. So that way in year 81, you have $1.5 million in a Roth IRA completely tax-free, a home completely paid off, and now you get a reverse mortgage line of credit that is open. That was open based on when your home was priced a whole lot less than it is today, because when you take out a reverse mortgage, you're paying it on the entirety of the home value. As the home appreciates, you've already paid that. So the appreciation is just free. man, that is a smoking plan. Smoking plan. It just hit me when you asked me that question. I forgot your name there, Jack. All right, love to hear your options. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on this. I'm thinking the only thing I can think is we don't know how much he needs to live on. With the house won't give $270,000 is not going to give him a reverse mortgage of $2,500 a month. We know that. Would be probably 130 or something like that. So it'd probably give him 5 years essentially, maybe 4 or 5 years. And then I didn't include the factor of the pricing of the reverse mortgage in there as well. But I mean, initially, but now I did. It's going to cost $100,000 in taxes and reverse mortgage costs. To never pay tax again. I love it. All right. Hey, let me know what you guys think. We'll see you.